appreciate it. Now that concludes the news. Let's get in a little chat, see how we're going. And that's it. Thanks so much. If you got to go, I'll see you. Okay. Yeah, Zhao says, look at Star Atlas. Yeah, that is based on Solana, right? Star Atlas is going to be a AAA ranked game. Problem is with Star Atlas, excuse me, is I don't believe they have a working product, full working product right now. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. So again, you know those games I just showed you? The ones that look goofy like this? Look at these games. Hold on. Let me pull one up. Baseball Boy. Like this one. Cube Crusher 3D. Whatever it is. How much time do you think it takes to create that game and put on a blockchain? Not too long, right? Now you can do a AAA rank game, and that's going to take a long time. But something like this, no time at all. I'm pretty sure you can get a coder to do that in a day. And that's where I think things are going. If there's so many casual gamers, that's where Gala Games is going, so why not? Thank you, Dinosaur, for coming back. What asset beats Bitcoin? You missed it. It was nothing. Nothing beats Bitcoin as far as an asset. You could read a book, Rob. I did read a book, actually. It was a pretty good one called Love, Clarence. It was a great book, but you know, only so much time I can do that, and I just try to rotate things to calm my nerves. I hate flying. How about Salt of Dash? Yeah, exactly, Jerry. The people selling the shovels, exactly. Cardano. A lot of good games being built on Cardano, actually. Cornucopias looks very promising. And they actually have a working product right now, which is pretty great. Yeah, that was disturbing. Ben, Tiffany Fong, and Mashinsky. I don't know, man. I don't know. So the question, what's the coin that beats Bitcoin? Tomato coin. It's a coin that I created, and we just signed a partnership with Spaghetti Works and the Olive Garden. So that's the one that'll probably beat Bitcoin. Hello, French. Yeah, Jesse says, and this is another thing. I saw a video last week that you talked about the gaming industry now being bigger than the movie and music industry combined. Have you seen anything about the Ronin network? I've seen a lot of things about a lot of different network. And it's, again, it's not so much about, you know, this or that, but what are things being built on? That's what I'm really trying to look for. Coin Bureau Live. Yeah, 100K. I'm looking forward to Dan diving in the pool very soon. I feel like coming in the next few months. Well, if Bitcoin hits 100K, sure, why not? I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I could be wrong. Beardy. Rob, what do I have to do to gate crash the Coin Bureau Live VIP day? You got to get past the bouncers, I guess. Ahmed said, what's your thoughts on Aptos? I don't really have many thoughts. I'm just waiting to see how it goes. I know it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a bunch of developers from Meta or Facebook that bind it together, and now they're making this great crypto. I don't know. Time will tell. But me, honestly, it's, I don't know. Maybe it's something to invest into, but like for me, like I dollar cost average every day the same thing. It's Bitcoin and Ethereum, Near, Avalanche, Cardano, Chainlink, and a host of other ones. So for me to really get things in there, it's got to take a lot. I know they're in the top 30, so congratulations, but I just don't. I got enough to do to instead of chasing another crypto. Doge had a good run. Doge had a great run after Elon Musk changed the logo on Twitter. I don't know about you, but if I owned a bunch of Dogecoin, I'm not saying he did this, and I changed the Twitter logo because I could, that'd be a great way to really heighten my position, I guess. Spaghetti works. Juggernaut. Did you ever talk with Steve Ehrlich after they filed for bankruptcy and ask him about that loan of ETHEREUM capital? I sent a message. I said, how did you do that? Why did you do that? Didn't get a response. Not surprising. I think, Voyager did a smart thing. They just disappeared. Steve didn't come out and do like walk around and be in like Twitter spaces and stuff like that. I got to tell you, the balls on that guy, Amashinsky, the balls on that guy, to go to NYC, NFT and just walk around like it's no big deal. Man. Todd says, Rob, did you get into owning real estate first before Bitcoin, altcoins? What was first? It was businesses first and real estate first. Yeah. I didn't get into Bitcoin and crypto until 2017. So I was terminally unemployable all the way back in 2014, essentially, because I just stopped working for other people and just worked for myself. Richard Maurice says, Rob, for your DCA, have you considered using the Fear and Greed Index as a guide and avoid DCA and greed? You can do that, and people like to do that. I just, for me, it's just another thing to think about and go, well, I can take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, and then I can also look at a bunch of on-chain metrics and see what it is. And but to me, I just think it's like this. Me personally, if I just dollar cost average and I just buy and then wait, I think things will work out. I can do that. I'm just not going to do it. I know me. And some people will they're okay with like looking at Fear and Greed and go, okay, today it is super greedy day, so I'm going to start selling, right? Like extreme greed. You can do that, but then you think about this. In 2021, when there was extreme greed, how far up did we go from the lower? Let's take a look, actually. This would be a good one. And let's steal some data from Ben's website. I don't think he'll mind. Just don't tell him. So let's see. Oh, if you want to sign up for Ben's website, there's like a 10% discount. Link in the description. So I'm going to look at crypto. And I'll take a look at Fear and Greed Index. And what I want to do. Okay. So here. So right here. So in November 2020, again, you can use Fear and Greed Index, but look at how far we went for extreme greed. Extreme greed. You're like, okay, it's extreme greed. It's at 15,000. And that's fine. You could have done it. Or 14,000. 14.8. Yeah, 14.8. We'll just round up because I'm a simpleton. And extreme greed, extreme greed, extreme greed, extreme greed. See what I'm saying? You went from extreme greed at 14,000 all the way up to 40,000. You can sell on here, I mean, as long as you bought down here. Still a good day, right? Huh? Still a good day. But what happens to this? You're just like, damn it. There's a lot of different ways to do that. You can do it such like that, or you can ladder in, ladder out. But it's up to you. So again, be cautious with just the fear and greed type of thing. Hope that made sense, Richard. Sorry, Ben. Stole your data again. Are you bullish on Cosmos? Yes. Actually, that's one of the DCAs I actually buy every day. Yeah, I don't like flying either. And I got to fly to Vegas next weekend. No, 2 weekends. And then in a month after that, I got to fly to London for a guy's event. Richard says, fun fact, Doge outperformed Bitcoin so far since day one. Interesting. maybe it'll keep doing it. Richard Murray says, look at the Doge Bitcoin chart, and you'll see Doge comes out on top. I refuse to believe it at first. Everybody, have fun. Take a look at that. Bitcoin makes you unemployable. Maybe. Depends on when you got into it. You buy Bitcoin at the price you deserve. That's just it. I bought the top. When more Tyler Spalding, I'll be releasing them throughout the week. It's not going to tell you like I know like there's a lot of people who really love AMP and they really talk about AMP, how great it is, and they really want to hear what Tyler has to say. But the majority of the things that we talked about as far as like the upgrades and the things that are happening was in that interview. Tyler is very guarded on the things that can be done, and he's right because things take a lot of time. But the other parts are just little snippets of wisdom he talked about as far as the history of crypto and digital assets and a little where things are going on AMP, but not to a greater degree. Jay Davis says, Rob, you think we're out of the woods in the 15K Bitcoin? I'll tell you, it's a funny thing, is I still don't think, and people will laugh at me, that's okay. I still don't think that we're out of the woods. I still think there's at least a soft recession coming, and I still think we can go down. Having said that, people will say, Rob, you don't know what you're talking about because Bitcoin's going to keep going up and the bull market is confirmed and you're a dinosaur. Maybe. I still think it can go down. However, does that change the strategy? No, it doesn't. This is the beautiful thing about dollar cost averaging. Like, I don't know if people get this, but like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not like a genius. Not even that smart, quite honestly. But I'm smart enough to know that even though I think the market's going to go one way, it can go the exact opposite way. So like when I just dollar cost average, like let's say that I'm wrong and Bitcoin goes to 100K. Well, that's pretty cool because I was buying Bitcoin I even bought the bottom because I was micro DCAing back then. And I bought it at 17, 18K when I was regular DCAing and all the rest of the alts that I was buying. So if I was wrong, well, I'm wrong, but I'm, rich. So that's great. If I'm right and things go down, well, great. Because just like we took a look at the time frame, if it goes, this is what between us, I'd rather it go down so that I can buy, because like it's much more appealing to me to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, like Ethereum below 1,000. It's great. Or Bitcoin below 15,000. Again, fantastic. Cardano below a dime. Near Protocol below $1, Avalanche below 3. I mean, all these things, like, that's great stuff. So if I'm right and it goes down, well, I'm right and I just can't sell for a while. That's okay because like we've taken a look at 4-year cycles. If we get a recession, how long do recessions last? Roughly 10 months. We get a recession in Q3, Q4. That means we go into 2024 into a recession. What happens after 2024? We go into an all-time highs for Bitcoin. The market rebounds. The market and economy rebound, and we're in 2025. Everything's good. It's crazy how that would line up if it does line up like that. Quit Time's got a good question. Seems everyone hodls Bitcoin like gold and not using it as payment were the original ideas. You're 100% correct. Do you think this is healthy for Bitcoin? I think that we all realized that Bitcoin wasn't great for payments unless we use another layer like Lightning Network for payments. Lightning is great for payments. It's fantastic for payments. I don't know why it hasn't really caught on because it's next to nothing. And me personally, like I'd rather take payments on the Lightning Network on my online stores, but not too many people are paying like that. So me personally, that's what the Bitcoin white paper was for. If you read the Bitcoin white paper, it's 9 pages, it's very short. Peer-to-peer transactions. And that's what it was all for. It did nothing about store of value, but it became a store of value. But in all honesty, same thing when man discovered iron and steel. What do we use it for in the beginning? Arrowheads, shields, swords. But then later on, we're like, maybe we should make this into like siding of buildings, space shuttles, different compounds. So maybe it's like we discovered it when Bitcoin was made, and then we're like, maybe it's a better store of value. Remember, store of value it's very simple. Or money is very simple. Money is just two things. It's a medium of exchange and a store of value. Bitcoin does that quite well. A little bit expensive as the network gets congested, but store of value is doing pretty good. It's a lot better than the US dollars, that's for sure. Everything's good, Matt. Bullish on that? Yeah, sure. Tesla? Beardy's here somewhere lurking in the shadows. Coma said, I thought we were already in a soft recession. However they want to define it. Some people say, Rob, you're a moron. We're already in a recession. Don't you know that? It depends on where you look at it, the data that you're looking at. If we go for the old ways of defining a recession per se, 2 consecutive quarters of GDP decline, well, we haven't hit that yet. And then people say, well, they're fudging with the numbers, Rob. And I'm like, look, that's what I got. So, you can talk about it all day. Is it a recession? Is it not a recession? Are we in a recession right now? Soft recession? Prices are going up. Blah, blah. I don't know. Some days it feels like it. Some days it doesn't. Of course, once we're out of a recession, or once we get into a recession, it'll pretty much be, we're already in the middle of it, and then we're already going to get out. So who knows? Yeah, I think it's a recession. They just won't tell you. Hello from sunny Florida. Hello. XRP is going to do great as soon as they win that lawsuit. Harmony won? Yeah, okay. We only accept a hard recession. Core says this would mean it's not too late to DCA. Look, if you're here now, probably not. I can't give you financial advice, but when I take a look at them, like, if you think about it, what do you want to invest into? Like, if you want to be an investor, and everybody's different, right? If you're 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, like, your goals are vastly different from somebody who's like 60, 70, 80 as far as an investor. That's why you really can't talk to people on the same level. It's all different. Some people are like, I got a long horizon. Some people, I don't have a horizon. Tomorrow might be my last horizon. So it all just depends. So as far as like leading to DCA, look, that's what everybody said when I got in 2017, actually, in November. And I was pretty ecstatic because I got Bitcoin at $8,000. I was super happy. And it went to 20,000. I'm like, everybody told me it was too late because the people from 2014, 2015 who bought it at $100 and $1,000 are like, it's too late. To me, it was still a pretty good deal. I'm like, wow, I had it at 8,000, now it's 20,000. I'm a genius. And then people were talking about, cycles. I didn't know what they're talking about. Now here we are. So I think it's the worst time is never. However, having said that, look at 2021. That was a pretty crappy time to DCA, and I was doing it at that point. I was micro DCAing, but probably make it up later on. Who knows if all those projects will come back? Doubt it very much. We're all George. Yeah. It makes me laugh when they say it's not Bitcoin. If it's not Bitcoin, it's an S coin. Lightning Network runs on AMP and Flexa. They never mention that. Interesting. Yeah. Hey, James. James Maloney. You got me on that one. Good one. That's great. Hello from the best mountains and beaches in the entire world. I think it's still low. Hey, from Portland. Damn it. Got it at 3,500. Good for you. They don't want you to buy low. No, they don't want you to buy low. Of course not. Whatever, Paul. Paul says apparently wine outperform most assets too. Just did a video on it. I saw it. It came up on my notification. Paul Barone Network is interviewing blah 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 from the wine network or from the wine whatever. I was like, oh really? Invest in the things that you are well versed in. Like if someone tokenizes Miller Lite, then I will be like, that's something I should definitely get into. But if you're looking for like the more advanced stuff, go watch Paul and his network as he talks about cool stuff like wine. I talk about goofy stuff like casual gaming and tokenizing Miller Lite, which is ridiculous. That was pretty funny, Colin. No way. I got in at 2011 because my buddy needed help buying roids in Silk Road. LOL. See, now it's easy to get steroids or testosterone. Just go to the doctor, get a little blood work, see what your total and free test is, and go from there. Thanks, Meme. Thank you so much. I don't know if you guys want to go walk the dogs, but they're doing it still over there in Puerto Rico. Nah, I don't really drink as much as I used to back in the day, which is good because as you get older, you can't keep doing that. Your liver will get shrivel up and die. Always wondered why Dan teaches crypto when your name is Rob. Digital asset news, Dan. Tokenized bud is gay. Doesn't the Atom APY scare you? Yeah, it does. But if you take a look at this, the yield on Atom, if you go to stakingrewards.com, let me show you something. So we go to stakingrewards.com, and if we look at view all assets, take a look at Atom. See here it says the reward or APY for staking is ridiculous amount, 22%. The reward rate is calculated by tracking block reward minus community tax, multiplied by the portion, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, it's actually 4%. And this is the adjusted reward. The adjusted reward is adjusted by the inflation of the network supply. So you got to imagine how much is Cosmos pumping out to give you that 22%. It's super inflationary. That's what it comes down to. Avalanche is negative 100%. That sounds kind of crazy. Someone verify that. Solana negative? Ooh. Cardano is only 0.19%. Watch out, everybody. That's not great. Hey, Ethereum's looking pretty good. Reward, 4.52. Adjusted reward, 4.68. Why is that? Well, glad you asked. Ultrasound money. There's a website, ultrasound.money. And you can just see that as it starts to burn things, you can take a look. You can simulate the proof of work by clicking this on. If it was still proof of work, this is how things would look. Oh, it'd still be deflationary. But you can see that it's actually going in the negative as people start to use it and burn all the transactions. Issuance, let me say here. So they burned 19,000. Oof. And 12,785 ETH. Supply chain is negative 6,000. Damn, negative 6,537 ETH. But that's in 7 days, mind you. So just be aware. There's a lot of things to take into account. It's not just 22% and leave it at that. It's the adjusted rewards and so on and so forth. You can invest in whiskey. I don't really know much about whiskey. Jeez, I get 7.5% on Ledger. William O'Leary's Gala going to 0. I don't know if that's going to happen. Gala's got a lot of great games coming out. And you know what they're focusing on? Casual gaming. AI tokens, perhaps. Kig said, how is that sustainable? It's not sustainable. It's sustainable if they keep pumping those out. Inflationary. The U.S. government does it all the time. That's sustainable, they say. As they start pumping out dollars, that's inflationary. So the U.S. Treasury does. Jeff's got a great question. Do you think Sam and Alex are going to get away with it? In today's look, if OJ could get away with it, anybody can get away with it. But if you take a look at, well, the thing with Bernie Madoff, there is so much proof that it was a Ponzi scheme that he had to go away. But with this one, and he lost everybody's money, just lost it, right? He spent it, dwindled it, whatever else. Unfortunately, I think that I've seen a lot of people get away with a lot of things. How many bankers were imprisoned in the 2008 Great Recession? One? Weren't they subject to a lot of negligence and a lot of people losing a ton of money? Probably so, right? But they got away with it. So I'm not sure. But there's things that I can change and there's things that I can't. And that's the things that I can't deal with because I can't change it. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Hopefully it works out, but I can only control my circle of influence, and that's it. Yeah. I see a lot of wrenches. Amy Johnson. Alex will walk just because next bull run he will not be the hot topic and just fade. Dude's got a point. You know why? Because people have the memory of a goldfish. Unfortunately. How many people you think will still invest into a new company that he does? Who's that guy? WeWork, the CEO of WeWork, which lost a boatload of money. He just made came up with a new idea and is looking for investors, just raised like billions of dollars for a new company. I'm like, didn't you just lose all the money from WeWork? Well, yeah, but that was not my fault. I think people are dumb and greedy. And that's it. On that note, that's all I got for today. So look, it's Sunday, coming up on 46 minutes or so, but that's all we got for today. So look, if you like today's video, I know it was a little back and forth, but again, before I finish, I think we're in the right place, right time. If we just take a look at just how well Bitcoin and crypto market has done and how much runway we have, this is a good time. And not to say that we can't fall off a cliff and have some rough turbulence, but I think in the long run, we're going to be doing pretty well. That's it for today. So look, like today's video, sign up, subscribe, like, and all that good stuff, but that's it. So thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate every one of you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.